All right, we're here with Mark Karasz, owner, vineyard manager, winemaker of Rock Stream Vineyards and the west side of Seneca Lake. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
We're here amidst a bunch of your vines, and we're going to talk about Veraison. If you would elaborate on what that means to the viewers.
Veraison is really not a technical term. It's not a growth stage that grapes go through, but it is a recognized term that we use when the grapes begin to take on their final color. If it's in the case of a red grape, it's when they turn red, or in a white grape when they have that lighter, less than green color that is typical of a fully ripened grape.
All right, now here on your left, on our right, we got some grapes that look like they're turning.
Yep, these are Canadice. I have about 10 different varieties of table grapes in my vineyard, and this is actually a red grape. It's supposed to be all red, and we have a very green color on most of the berries, but many of the berries are starting to turn to a nice red color, and they're a very sweet grape, but that will indicate when they all get about the same color. Sometimes you'll have a little greenish tint in these, but they will then be ripened and ready to pick, probably in about another month. This cluster that's more exposed to the sun has more of the red color, and even this one is getting there pretty good too.
And these are table grapes, you said?
These are table grapes. They don't have any seeds in them. They were developed a long time ago by the folks at Cornell, and they were planted since the 70s, and we were able to continue harvesting really good table grapes as long as we don't have weather like this.
Yeah, right. Well, we're optimistic. We're optimistic about that. So, table grapes. So, do a lot of growers in the region? I mean, I would assume you'd be growing nothing but wine grapes. And
yeah, there are a few. There are a few in the Finger Lakes. We like to say that we probably have one of the larger varieties of table grapes. Not the largest planting, but probably the greatest variety. Most people ripped out their table grapes in the past because they were so difficult to grow because of summers like this and fall seasons where you get too much rain and not enough ripening, and these are very susceptible to breaking open when you get too much rain.
And can you use table grapes to make wine?
Yes. Fulkerson's uses his planting of Himrod to make his matinee variety, and I use my table grapes, the white ones. I blend a lot of them together to make Poolside Pink, half of which is seedless white table grapes, and I use the red ones, our seedless Concord, and a numbered variety that was developed by Cornell and since abandoned. I use those two for coloring of my Make Me Blush blend, and a whole bunch of other things. We've made ports, and we've made had a lot of success with table grapes that we don't sell at the tasting room as fresh fruit.
And the interesting thing, I think, is, over here, as you were showing us earlier in the conversation, you got grapes that are right in the midst of changing over.
Right.
And then you got a different strain of grapes right next door.
Yeah, that's Suffolk Red.
Suffolk Green.
Yeah, they're supposed to be red, but the only way you would know that is that you see a couple of them starting to turn pink.
Yep.
And that is just the variety. It's a later ripening grape. It's more likely to get more red if they don't experience any rotting or bird picking or shelling, like I'm just seeing there. We didn't get real good fruit set this year, so that means that's an actual growth stage, not unlike Veraison. But if the berries don't get that nutrition that they need when they start to get pea-sized, then you can get uneven-sized berries, and then you'll get uneven ripening like this, or delayed Veraison or uneven Veraison.
All right, so let's just give us a 101. Rock Stream Vineyards, located, I'd say about 10 minutes north of Watkins Glen on the west side of Seneca Lakes, south of Glenora in Fulkerson. Smaller winery, but certainly a great winery with a lot of diversity of product. Tell the listeners or the viewers a little bit more about Rock Stream Vineyards.
Rock Stream Vineyards is the only winery on Seneca Lake that has a distillery, and we make grappa, grape brandy, and 3 kinds of port. I use the brandy to make the port. Port is just a fortified wine, and I have to mention that I just won double gold in the New York Wine and Food Classic for my grappa. The grappa I made from Riesling grape skins. Those Riesling grapes are very aromatic to begin with, and it's a popular grape in the Finger Lakes, and I don't think very many people have ever attempted to make grappa from Riesling. So we'll take those skins after we're done pressing, and we'll ferment them and get them into a nice, sweet, sugary mix, and then it goes into the still, and we'll get a really high-proof liqueur out of it. It comes out usually at 140, 150, 160 proof initially, and then we'll dilute it down after it's aged for a while to about 80 proof. And then we'll bottle it up, and we have people come from all over the world, actually. They look at the Seneca Lake Wine Trail brochure and the passports, and they see that I'm the grappa distiller around here, and they want to try it.
Well, it's neat, too. You described the grappa, the process of making it, and you use the skins mostly.
That's correct.
Which is, I think, for a lot of folks, that are trying to be green and conscious of the environment, it's kind of neat to see the whole grape getting used.
Yes. We don't want to throw out anything that's of use. A lot of farmers and grape growers will take the grape skins and put them in their fields for fertilizing, and others will put them in a big septic tank and try to hope that they develop into something useful for the ground. But that, to me, doesn't really work well. I prefer to use the sugars, everything that came from the grape. There's still residual sugar that can be fermented into alcohol, and why not use it? It would be throwing away alcohol, and I don't believe in that.
No, that's alcohol abuse, isn't it? All right, Mark Karasz, Rock Stream Vineyards. What's the domain name?
My domain name is www.rockstreamvineyards.com.
All right, rockstreamvineyards.com. Mark, thanks a lot for your time.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right.